Hi there, my name is Emma, and I am the host of the Socially Awkward podcast, and today I'm going to be talking to you about my experience living in the happiest place on Earth, otherwise known as the Kingdom of Bhutan. Just to provide a little bit of background, I'm a Singaporean who was born in the United States, and my first visit to Bhutan was in 2012. I was visiting there with my family. That eventually resulted in a job. My dad was working with the King's office. It's basically how we ended up moving to Bhutan. I was 12 years old, so that makes it a grand total of 7 years now. I'm just gonna go over a couple of things that I would have liked to known about living in Bhutan. Almost everything that we knew about Bhutan was, I feel like, by word of mouth or from books, because not many people had been to Bhutan. So if you have the opportunity to work or live in Bhutan or visit Bhutan, I hope this video is helpful for you. So the first thing I am going to talk about that was, I guess in a sense, culturally different for me. Living in Singapore, we're very used to having everything ready for us at any time we need it. But in Bhutan, if you're living in Thimphu, the capital, you gotta go to the weekend market to get your vegetables. The weekend markets are open from Thursdays to Sundays, and it's very hard to find fresh produce outside of those couple of days. My family's job involved a lot of traveling, so sometimes if we would come back up to the capital on a weekday, for example, a Monday, we would be like, oh no, we have no food. And we'd just be eating either takeout or canned foods for the week until we had time to go to the weekend market when it was open. Another thing that really took us by surprise was, because Bhutan is a predominantly Buddhist country, many Bhutanese, not all, but a large number of them do practice vegetarianism. It's easy to be vegetarian in Bhutan, difficult to be vegan though, because dairy is in a lot of things. Their national dish is called imadatsi. It's basically chili and cheese. Cheese and butter are in a lot of things, so if you're vegetarian, that's cool for you. If you're vegan, then it'll be very challenging. Here's a little geography lesson. So Bhutan is here. It's about the size of Switzerland, if you know how big that is. Bhutan's here. China's up here, India's down here, Nepal is somewhere off to the side. Bhutan does share very close borders with India. It's really funny because when you're down south, you can look across the street and over the rooftops into India, and that was just such a cool experience for me, because living in Singapore, it's like, oh, you know, you gotta cross the causeway, but no, some people just cross the street and they're like, okay, let's go to Jaigon, which is in India, let's go to Jaigon for lunch, and they'll be like, okay, cool, and then they'll just walk across the border into India and eat, and then come back for work in an hour. So that was a real culture shock to me, I guess, because normally when you go overseas, I feel like there's a lot of planning, but to them it's not even like it's traveling overseas, because it's not. It's literally just a street away. So back to the topic of holy months. Something that really took us by surprise, I want to say, is the fact that holy months basically means that they are not selling meat for that set period of time. My family does eat meat. We would just go to the store, all right, we need to get some chicken. Oh wait, all of the stores are not selling meat because it's illegal. If you are planning to live in Bhutan or visit Bhutan, local newspapers will tell you when the holy months are coming up. So I highly recommend getting a freezer, because the first time the holy month took us really by surprise, and our freezer was a little shelf in our fridge. We didn't have meat, and that was okay with me, but my dad and my brother were like,
no, we want meat.